In this video right here, I'm going to quickly show you how to go about dealing with designs that were rejected by Affinity licensing and what to do with those. So I'm on Affinity right here. You go to Designs and you go to Rejected right here. And it shows you designs that are rejected. Once they're not rejected, it goes away from rejected. So again, this is an old way that we were doing it, so don't worry about the screenshot. Typically what this is going to say, instead of screenshot, it's going to say, um, sorry, let me go. It's going to say like kappa, alpha, theta, um, like kappa delta sweatshirt 1000, right? So it's going to say this. So you're going to know what it is, because you know that Kappa Alpha Theta is a large sorority, and you know that the design is 999. So for example, if this was Kappa Delta sweatshirt 5, right? You know that that is from design 5, right? See it right here? That'd be design 5. But again, this was just an example, so that's why it's 1000. But again, so like this wording right here, kappa alpha theta, kappa delta 1000, etc. That would be, instead of screenshot, that is what that would say. So then what you can do is, if you can click on it and you can see why it was rejected. So this says this design is rejected. They do not approve tri-delt. They do approve tri-delta. So that means it shouldn't say tri-delt. It should say tri-delta. Okay? So typically, most of the time when there's a design that's rejected, it might be just, something that slipped through. There's a spelling error. There's, something that doesn't look quite right with the design, or, the, tri-delta didn't like, for whatever reason, say they didn't like the colors, or for some reason they didn't like the design. So that's normally why it's rejected. And so, let's say that you uploaded all the sorority designs, that maybe one would be rejected every now and again. And then what you would do is, if that one is rejected, or I'll explain that in a second. But if it's a bigger thing, but if it's a bigger thing like this, where it says they do not approve tri-delt, they do approve tri-delta, you need to tell me, you need to send me a message and tell me, hey, I think you need to know this. Tri-delt doesn't approve tri-delta doesn't approve tri-delt. So you need to make sure you do tri-delta for a nickname. So that'd be an important thing to tell me. Another example is, so you can see right here. So we got rejected for all the ones that say tri-delt, because, which that's for delta, delta, delta. They don't allow us to say that. They're trying to change kind of their nickname. Another example here is, I can show you this one right here, where it shows this design is rejected. Alpha, gamma, delta needs to be on the same line or on 3 separate lines. So you can see that they rejected that, and you can see that they rejected like this one right here. So you can say that design is rejected, name must all be on the same line or on 3 separate lines. You can see again right here, kind of same thing in this design. Design rejected, name must be on 1 or on 3 separate lines. So again, that's kind of a trend that you can see. For sororities, all the designs need to be on the same line or on 3 separate lines. So again, that is something that I would like you to send me a Skype message, just telling me, just giving me the heads up so I know, and we will start creating, small rules, just mostly for our designer, but also for whoever's, or for you guys, for checking the, so it's mostly for our designers, but it's also for you guys who are creating products, to check and make sure that everything's done correctly. So I created the first rule. the sorority name needs to all either be on the same line or have each letter, alphabetic game, etc., be on a separate line. So yeah, so you'd let me know about that. And so then what you're going to do is if there is a design that is rejected for whatever reason, you're going to go to the task sheet. So like let's say that number 5 was rejected. You're going to go here. You're going to go and you're going to add a note, just same way that you always do. You're going to, insert. You're going to insert a note. You're going to type in, make alpha sigma alpha, alpha chi omega, and alpha gamma delta all be on the same line. And then, yep, that is what you'll be doing. And then again, there's the note that comes up. And then what you do for anything that's licensing issue, you make it pink. And then you make it pink right here as well. And so then what happens is then, our designers will go on, they'll see this, and then just kind of same way as there's a typical revision, the pink signifies the same thing. They will go and they will, they will name an initial, and they'll put their initials and they will put the date. And then what you're going to do is then you're going to go and you're going to see, oh, it changed to green. So that means that they've created the revision. You're going to go check, and you're going to make sure that the revisions were made correctly. And then what you're going to have to do is, because we need to use that version of the design instead, you'll basically, what you're going to do is you're going to recreate those products from scratch. So you're going to re-download those designs, so you're going to re-download those from Adobe Cloud, just same way, and you're going to mock them up the same way that you mocked them up before. So like let's say that you know what, I'm going to go find one of the ones. So for example, like this one right here, right? If they didn't let you do this, you would go and you would download the artwork for the new version on Adobe Cloud. So for example, it might all be on one line, so kappa, alpha, theta, all in one line, or it might be 3 lines, kappa, alpha, theta. And then you would go in and you would just edit this product in Shopify, the same place that you go to create products, and you would just change out this image and this image both, right? And you would already have this image right here, the updated kappa, alpha, theta. You'd already have that. So what you would do is then you would go to Affinity and you go to rejected designs. So let's say that it was this design that was rejected. You would then submit a new version, and you would put the new version of this design that was created, right? And so then what you do, so then, after you do that, and after you create the Shopify product, what you do is you go back to the sheet, and you would delete this, go here, reset, delete the note, and delete the note, and then you would go over here and you would just and then you will just redate. So you'll put in the date. So 6/27 dash, and then you'd put, or you do your initials, and then 6/27, right? And then you would take off you'll take that off. But typically, all these will be filled up, right? So they will all have a date, right? All these will. But then, because you will have uploaded them to Affinity the first time. So then, you'll make it pink if there's an error, and then, or if Affinity rejects it, and then you will come here and, like, let's say that, I did it and it was August 1st, I just do TS8-1 to show that I I went back at a later point and that you created the new product and uploaded it to Shopify with the new images, just the new images, sorry, the same product but new images, and that you also created a resubmission for the affinity upload. And again, like this is where you go to rejection, and it's not going to be very common that you're going to see rejected images. It's just once we're getting the first couple under our belt and figured out, we just need to figure out what we can and can't say. But as soon as we get that sorted out, this is going to be a pretty rare occurrence. Just maybe once every couple of weeks might be one that's rejected just because like a wrong date or something random slips through. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions on this or how any of this works, and I would be happy to help.